What's up, guys? I'm Ben2000 yugioh, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and you're watching another episode of the Structure Deck Wars. Stick around. Alright, so for today's video, we're going to have the Kaiba Structure Deck versus the Synchron Extreme. I just could not remember it for the life of me. In my mind, it's just the Yusei Structure Deck, but that's not really what it is, now is it? It is the Synchron Extreme versus the Kaiba Structure Deck, so I'm really interested. Basically, what this comes down to is this is Synchros versus ABC. When you get down to the nitty-gritty of it. This fight actually was a little closer than I kind of thought it would be, to be honest. I know I mentioned in the last video that this fight was close, but it was... Basically, here's the thing. Both of these decks are very inconsistent because the Kaiba one has like Blue Eyes and Dragon stuff mixed in there with the robot stuff, so it's like, it's two things that don't mesh well, versus the Synchro deck, which... You could get all tuners, or you could get no tuners at all, and you could like it's it's the battle of the inconsistent decks for this episode. So it's going to be really fun. If you're new here, this is how we're doing things. We have this little conversation in the front, we have some replay footage, and at the end I explain the winner. The goal of this series is to explain to the Yu-Gi-Oh world what is the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh structure deck. So I thought it would be a great idea to just have them all. If they have a ban card, they get to use it, you know what I mean? So the older structure decks, I feel, have a chance because they oftentimes do contain a ban card or two. To really seek out the answer to the question is, what is the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh structure deck? So that is what this video series is all about. The Structure Deck Wars are about determining that answer. And guys, I gotta tell you, we will be done with round 1 in 2 more episodes of this series. So literally after this one is up and over with, we are finished with round 1. The next three, my bad, I miscounted. That's okay. The next 3 ones after this, we have 3 more episodes. We'll have Onslaught of the Fire Kings versus Lair of Darkness, Realm of Light versus Dino Master's Fury, Samurai Warlords versus Zombie Horde. That's the next 3 fights. And then we're done with round 1 of this whole experiment, and then we'll start round 2, and then from there we'll consecutively narrow it down until we get the final winner. So, without further ado, guys. Before I forget, before we get into those replays, I have one more announcement to make. Bear with me, guys. This Friday, I am going to be redoing my 500 subscriber celebratory live stream because last week I didn't advertise it very well and only like 10 of you guys showed up. And as much as I love the 10 of you people that showed up, I felt like it wasn't fair to the rest of you that, that didn't get a chance to watch it because either you didn't have time to plan, or you didn't know it was happening, so you weren't, online that night. So I decided I'm going to advertise it better. So as of recording this video, I want you guys to know it'll happen Friday, 7 p.m. This Friday. It'll be the 27th. So make sure that you show up this Friday, 7 p.m. We're going to have a 500 subscriber live stream celebration, and basically what we're doing is I'm going to answer questions. I'm going to be practicing for YCS Fort Worth, and you guys can see just how horrible I am at this game because the deck I've chosen to play is probably ridiculous. Anyway, so now that I've got all the announcements out of the way, let's go watch the replay footage. Make sure you stick around until afterwards so I can explain why the deck that won. So, let's go. Let's get into those replay footage. Alright, there you have it, guys. The winner between Synchron Extreme and the Kaiba structure deck is the Blue Eyes one. Or, excuse me, not Blue Eyes, the Kaiba structure deck. So Kaiba got knocked out with his Blue Eyes Silver Dragon or whatever early on in the tournament, but, you know, it comes back with ABC, no problem. So basically what this came down to, this was a battle of the bricks, essentially. If you guys probably saw in the replay there, I think there was even one replay where this deck didn't draw any card it needed to get on the board, like, at all. That being said, you know, it's I'm really not too shocked, to be honest. I mean, I kind of thought that the Kaiba deck had an advantage going into this, as, you know, like I said in the beginning of the video, the other deck, you could either draw all tuners or all or no tuners at all and be locked out of the extra deck, and that's where all your power cards are. This deck doesn't have that problem. Yes, ABC Buster Dragon is a powerful card, but let's face it, this deck had power plays within the deck itself. So it had powerful monsters that it could easily get a hold of. You know, it could Tribute, it could Union, it could it had a special summon with a Purpley Dragon here. Yeah, it had powerful magic and trap cards. Now we come over to this one. I mean, we had some powerful spells and traps, like, you know, Scrap Iron Scarecrow, Night Beam, Rhoda, 1-for-1. These are Call of the Haunted, Warning. These are powerful cards. But that was the weakness of this Synchro deck, I think, which is ultimately why the ABC deck won. Even though it was also inconsistent and had a lot of, like, Blue Eyes cards and stuff in it that made it way worse than it should be, its power cards are right here. It has no main deck power cards. Nothing to defend itself if it can't Synchro Summon, so yeah. Ultimately, that's why I think this deck took it. You literally have just a huge amount of just power cards. 1 second, guys. Needed a drink. Anyway, like I was saying, that was the ultimate reason why I think this deck won. I think that it just had powerful monsters it could play that were stronger. The only thing that this deck had problems going for it was the same thing the other deck had, which was inconsistencies. But, you know, and there's an idea later down the line I could play with, like maybe if somebody was like, maybe we perfect the structure decks, but, you know, or build them, like, you know, say, hey, let's do another tournament later down the line with all 3 of them. You know, you get 3 and you have to build it, but we'll play with that idea later. But this is so far, yeah. So for this week, the decks that are going to be going forward and going on to the next round will be the Power Code, and will be this deck for this week. Excuse me. I do want to remind you guys, though, we have a live stream happening later this week, so if you guys want to watch me practice for YCS Fort Worth, get my butt kicked by meta decks a lot, come back this Friday, 7 p.m. Also, I do have another little announcement. You guys may only get 1 video next week. I don't know what that video will be, whether it's another Structure Wars, Deck Wars episode, or if it's like, you know, some other type of video, but you're guaranteed only 1 video next week. And the reason why is because YCS Fort Worth is coming up, and I plan on taking pretty much next week to practice. So you guys may not see a whole lot of me next week. But I'll make sure you guys get 1 more video, and just to make up for it, guys, I do plan on getting a lot of content while I am gone. So no worries, you guys will get content. I have a few things in the works that are gonna that I have planned. I don't know necessarily what you know, what all those videos are. I have some people I'm gonna try to interview, some bigger YouTubers. Stick around for that. When, you know, if I may enter into some side events or something. We'll, you know, because I don't imagine I'll do too hot at YCS Fort Worth, but we'll see. You never know. I could be better than I think. Anyway, guys, I'm Ben 2000 yugioh. I'm your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and I'll see you guys this Friday. Peace.